because your time is changing, so we are meeting from next week at 7 your time instead of. So, yes, John,
Hey,
how are you?
good. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Good.
So from the next week, because of the time change, we will meet at 7 your time instead of 7:30. So that in that way I can make some adjustment in my other sessions. So let us start over. So what we have done until now, Charlie is here. Where is, I don't see the Charlie. What happened to Charlie? Why she didn't join? So, so what we have done last time, just a recap, and then we will move to the next topic, especially uh, last couple of, no, the next sessions, up to 5 sessions, are very important. We have been talking about impurities of the mind, so we have to understand that impurity of the mind, why it is not coming. So let us see. She joined and she uh, where she has gone. So, so in the last sessions, first we understood that there is a real self according to Eastern wisdom, and it is veiled by the ignorance, impurity, and projection. That was the first topic we have taken. Second, then, knowledge removes the ignorance. Knowledge removes the ignorance. So it means we have to study, listen, and learn and contemplate and reflect what is exactly the ignorance is causing us veiling the real self. Why we want to know the real self? Because the uh, real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. And we have already covered, as long as we do not know our true nature, we will identify with wrong notions, false assumptions. Oh, I am your husband. Why don't you listen to me? But I'm real self. I'm your wife. Why you are looking at others? That's a normal complaint of women. John might have faced the same thing. So he may not tell me, but that is a natural. So that is, so false assumption. So I'm a boss. Boss is a role in a company, in an organization. But if I start behaving like a boss every time, I have to suffer. I will face the consequences. You are speeding and you say, I'm the boss. The cop will say that I will tell you how you are boss. So that false notion has to go away. So because of these false notion, attachment, craving takes over our life and it causes a lot of challenges. Then we have done the purification essential for the journey of self discovery. Purification of the mind. I should be honest to myself. That is the first priority. That is the first, foremost condition in the world. I have to be honest to myself. And how to understand that honesty with reference to the experiences, with reference to the behavior and the attitude that I live with. And so that purification is essential. Then purity of the mind needed definitely for self-realization. Until until now we have covered these topics. So Master says that purity is essential. Purity of the mind and the good karma, good action. Now how they are related? How they are related? Say, I'm not feeling good at the mental and the emotional level, and now I'm going to give you a lesson. So my behavior, my expression will also be not good. My behavior and expression is directly related to my attitude in the mind. Do you see that? My behavior, my action is directly related to my attitude in the mind. I may have a different attitude. I may have an attitude to grab everything from you being a consumer, and on that basis, I want to give you a lesson. So that attitude will express itself in a different kind of a behavior. Why you're not attending in time? Why did not join? Oh, who cares? You join at the right time. That is your responsibility. That is your responsibility, not mine. Why should I care that? But yes, the moment you are in a session, I should put my 100% in explaining these principles and the practices. So you see, the good karma and the purity of the mind is both are essential. If you do not go with the right attitude, you will end up fighting with your honey. And if your karma, if your action is not right, obviously you create problem not only to yourself, but for others also. But how it is related to the self-discovery? Yes, because I have a wrong notion, I have a false assumption about myself, so that changes my attitude inside the mind and results into a different behavior. I believe you are getting it. That's very important to understand that. Purity of the mind leads to the right attitude, and the right attitude leads to the right karma, the good karma in our life. Otherwise, I will create a lot of impressions in my life against people. So there was a group session on Mondays and Thursdays. So women always challenge the world. If they challenge me, that's not a big deal. Now, I'm not criticizing Charlie. I I like every woman. So anyhow, this woman challenged herself, pointing to me. Do you think that I'm not a seeker? I said, I didn't say you. I say you to examine, analyze, and observe yourself. But one thing is sure, when you are challenging in this tone, it shows that you are not a seeker. That proves. Why I'm saying so. Eastern wisdom talks about at a very subtler level of your attitude. If you do not notice it, if you do not become aware, you cannot change yourself. You cannot change yourself. It's a very subtler level of psychology. That is what we are learning. So, what happens when I have a right attitude of the mind? And who hides the right attitude? The impurity of the mind. So, it means I have to remove the impurities of the mind to have a right attitude. And the right attitude results into a right expression. Come what may, whatever the circumstances in your life, outside, whatever the people you are living with outside, you have a right attitude. You are not going to suffer. because your expression, your action will definitely be right. It will help others to understand you. Otherwise, the people will not understand you. Even your near and the dear ones. Are you understanding that? You might be recalling and retrieving your past experiences. And that causes a lot of stress in our life. When the mind is pure, why we are stressing on that? So there is a very subtle level of psychology that every expression, behavior, and action in your life comes from the mind. If the mind doesn't think in a particular way, it does not lead to a particular expression. If my ego is there in the mind, the ego will fire everyone in spite of the fact that you feel defeated in the end. Your ego defeats you. So, what we are saying, good karma and the right attitude. A pure mind sees all the action as an expression, as a contributor, not as a consumer. I will open up this. Our mind is facing with a tremendous problem of being a consumer all the time in the modern society. We want to consume each and everything. And based on consumption, based on consumer attitude, we see our honey, we see our relationship, we see our profession, we see all our actions. I believe you are understanding. Our attitude is just a consumer. I want to consume. Why I want to consume? Because I'm attached. Why I'm attached? Because I have a strong liking for it. But why I like? Because I'm searching peace and happiness in you, for example. If I am a consumer, then I'm looking for peace and happiness in you. That is why I'm attached. That's why I have a strong liking. But you do not have the peace and happiness. So it is a projection. So the ignorance is there, the projection is there, the impurity in the mind is there, and that causes a lot of challenges in our day-to-day life. Day-to-day life, I can tell you. Your one thought of the impurity passes in your mind, it changes your attitude. Honey, you want to have a cup of coffee? No, I don't want. You see the expression? No, no, honey, you take it. You like it, you take it. At present, I don't have a feeling to take it. So expression is different. Both the expression have a different attitude in the mind. Purity of the mind, I showed you, and good karma. Purity of the mind that results into a good expression. But if the mind is impure inside, means my intention, the way I express myself in relationship causes lot of challenges in our life. And then next couple of sessions I told you are very important because then we will directly deal with the impurities of the mind. The right attitude in the mind results into a good karma. You wake up in the morning, your mind is calm and relaxed. And your attitude towards the honey is very good. The honey says, yes, honey, let us have a cup of tea together. Your attitude also expresses in the same action. Otherwise, you carry the burden of what happened yesterday. You might have experienced, I need not to tell you. So I'm not talking only of the honey. Honey means, in professional relationship, in social, in society, in our day-to-day living. When we have a right attitude, we are more inclined to think, speak, and act in ways that are, if I use the word, that are ethical, that are generous, and that are kind. This generates positivity and the goodwill in my action. Not only this generates the positivity and the goodwill, which ripples out to touch the lives of others and creating a good karma. And if we have a wrong attitude, uh, so here Master talks about the wrong attitude because I'm acting out of the greed, I'm acting out of the hatred or the delusion. It pollutes our actions and breeds a bad karma, bad action. So others feels that you are going to harm, and that creates a conflict. That creates a lot of conflict in our life. So we have to understand that how our expressions or actions are coming out of being a contributor, not as a consumer. Every time you are a contributor, even if someone near and dear you not listening to you, they are bound to listen you after some time because you have shown the change in attitude and the change in your expression. No, but we are talking of the self-discovery. Yes, these are the prerequisites. If I don't change my attitude, I cannot reach to the state of self-discovery. It will not work. It will not work. So that is the path that is known as the karma yoga. It is 90% intellectual exercise. I have to contemplate, rethink, clear my mind, change my attitude before I act. In any relationship, everywhere.
Remote control battery level is at 77%. Remote control battery level is at 77%.
Some women have started speaking, but I don't see
I
any
don't know
women.
what's happened. It's the TV starts talking all of a
Oh,
sudden.
it starts talking. Good, good, good.
I
Yeah,
don't know how to turn it off.
it's very difficult to turn off the women, especially on the TV.
Okay.
Don't get upset. The women should not. So it's okay, it's a part. So the purity of the mind is essential for steady meditation. You succeed in meditation, the purity of mind is essential. Otherwise, the impurities like the attachment, desires, and anger and the hesitation disturb the mind and come in the way of the meditation. So again, understand, I just used another word, karma yoga. Karma means action, and yoga here means a right and proper attitude. That is what the karma yoga is. It appears as if, I have to perform, I have to do certain actions uh, in a. No, what you are doing, keep on doing it, but with a change in attitude. One, and I have to check whether my action is right and good. Am I doing all my actions as my duty and responsibility? What happens? So once you have that attitude and you are doing the meditation, your mind will not be distracted. A pure mind is calm, silent, free from the distractions. It can easily focus inward. Not only that, if you ask that what are the other benefits of purifying the mind, it reduces our anxiety, anger. It reduces emotional challenges, emotional dependence. It results into inner peace. It increases the focus and the memory. It reduces my restlessness. And ultimately, I learn how to remain unaffected, not dictated by the outer situation, people, relationship. That is the highest level of the benefit. That is what we want our mind should behave. Greater the purity, greater the peace. And that is what we are gradually learning, step by step. So when the master says that purity is essential, purity of the mind is essential, he is saying that because of the purity of the mind, the whatever the way I am, all my actions will also result into goodness. Goodness for me and goodness for others. It has nothing to do with morality and ethics. It's a very clear uh, principle. So you take care of very small details of your life before you act. Let me talk about any action, how to find out that you performed the right action with your honey, with your relationship, and all the time. What is that examination? How to know that? Before the action, during the action, after the action, your mind is in peace. One of the most important criteria. What is an action? Physical action, speech, the way you communicate to others, and the way you think inside. All the three are actions. Is action at the physical level, action at the verbal level, action at the mental level. Before, well, before joining the lesson, during the lesson, and after the lesson, you are able to maintain the peace with me. That is one. Same thing applies to your when you are thinking and speaking and acting with your honey, with your relations in your personal life, in your professional life, in your social life, in your family life, with anyone and everyone. Mind is not changing. Mind lives into that state of the calmness and peace. What that means, the purity of the mind. Did it happen? Uh, this guy is so crazy. I've already changed my mind. It was in peace. Now I look at the person, mind has changed. How long I have to tolerate you, honey? Ah, because you got married, so you have to tolerate me. So now just think for a while from where these thoughts are coming in your head. Can I change my head? Answer is yes. Can I change the head of my honey? No. We miss that point. Are you getting it? I cannot change the entire world. I can change myself. See, look at it. Hold on. Hold on, let me see how I get agitated seeing someone. Just seeing someone, my mind triggers those emotions. Why? It is my problem. I should bring the emotional poise inside. Are you getting it? Very important point in the world we live in, because we have to face hundreds of people every day. We have to face hundreds of situations every day. Situation, conditions, relations. Why it is happening. I'm not aware of what is happening in my mind. Mind, calm down. You should not be dictated. You should not be influenced by anything from outside. Hold on. My attitude changes, and ultimately that changes my expression. Otherwise, I become a hypocrite. Internally, I'm jealous of you, and outwardly, honey, how are you? That harms me much more than it harms others, because then I develop a dual personality. Modern psychology talks about the split personality. We always live with the split personality. We always live with the split personality. So you'll see that split personality, that conflicting and the confusion living in the mind causes me that dual personality. But if you change that attitude, what happens then? Mind is clear. It provides you a higher purpose rather than getting lost in these small issues in the mind. My mind is now clear. It brings focus to the mind. It changes my motivation. It removes the conflict. It removes the conflict. I have a wonderful, uh, uh, I receive, I observe myself and I observe everyone around me. And that gives me a lot of examples. This guy, this guy, maybe a guy or a girl, I don't want to tell you. He has been with me almost for the last 2 years. He's very intense in learning, and he is changing. He has changed his profession. He's doing very good in business. And now, after learning this karma yoga, the path of the karma yoga, he's totally absorbed. So normally I charge for the 10 sessions. So he missed a couple of payments. So I sent him a reminder. Later on, I realized that he might be having some problems. So let me leave it. So because of his changed attitude, he talked to me that no, this is what happened to me. I'm in a difficult problem. But later on, he picked. So it happens in everyone's life. I have to be very straightforward with the right attitude of the mind. Only one thing is required that we are going to learn in future, that what are those impurities, how to cultivate, how to discover that right attitude in the mind. That is extremely important, because right attitude gives rise to the right thought to right speech, right thought and right speech to the right action. You stick to it. Even if your near and dear ones have a different attitude and different expression. They criticize you, they blame you, but you stick to that right attitude. Everything will be right. Everything will be right. So think of this right attitude, that is a state of consciousness. From that state of the consciousness, thinking actions are three. Right thinking inside my head, that is also an action. Verbal expression, that is also an action, and physical action, that is also an action. Verbal, physical, and mental. They all follow one direction. Otherwise, I think one thing and I speak something else and I act different. That we all know it. Close your eyes. Let us start our practice now. Eyes are closed and eyes are closed. Being comfortable. Pay attention to being comfortable, my friends. Where is that? Being comfortable means you are looking at the neck joint. Your mind should now be settled into being comfortable easily. Find out the most comfortable position of your body. One, eyes are closed. Two, you look at the neck joint. Three, and there you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So, how fast you settle into being comfortable will take you deeper into the journey. If you are not fast, does not mean that you have to do lot of effort. There is no effort required. Again, look at the shoulder joints, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body means what you are looking at the skin of the body, you have a feeling, you are aware, there is a sensation, comfort, and steadiness. We'll move to the next step, being carefree. One thing you should understand clearly, it is you need not to become comfortable. When you want to become comfortable, it is because of the impurity of the mind. Comfort is already there inside. I have to recognize and accept it. Say, for example, you because of the stress, you have stiffened your shoulder joints. And now, when you look at the shoulder joints, you instantly recognize the mind is causing this stiffness and you loosen it, relaxed. You don't do anything, you drop that discomfort. That is being comfortable. In the same thing, you don't become carefree, you are being, it is a state of being carefree, my friends. Okay. So being carefree, any thought is coming, you are an observer. Like any car is moving on the highway on one side or from the other lane. It hardly matters. Again, the thought comes. So what happens? The thought comes and I have a sense of attachment and liking and disliking with that thought. So I become aware of it. Yes, we become aware of it. No problem. So you maintain that awareness. You don't get carried away by the thought. That is the meaning that you are separated from yourself from the thought. That is being carefree. And that is what I explained you. That is what I explained you last time. That what I explained you that watch your thoughts like a traffic while standing across the road. So you are an observer. You're watching these thoughts are coming and going. It takes it. It takes time. It takes a repetition. It wants a commitment to be carefree and comfortable. First thing, what happens now? The stance of your body and the state of your mind have changed. Do you see that? Now you are in a right attitude to continue the journey. So we don't leave the mind, and there we use the mantra. Why we use the mantra is also a thought. Just take it as a thought. The way a crazy thought changes me to become anxious, reactive, the same way the thought makes me calm and relaxed. So the thoughts in the mantra are expansive, are opens up our mind. Asatuma satgamaya. Say in your mind. Asatuma satgamaya. Asatuma satgamaya. Asatuma. So it means lead me from the false to the real. So I recognize what is false. Whatever is changing, if I stick to anything that changes my body, my mind, my intellect, other people in the world are constantly changing. That very change is the false. So I should not stick to the false. Normally we say, honey, you have changed, in these years so much. We don't see that we have also changed. That is false. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Or you can just think, lead me from the ignorance to the wisdom. That we have discussed in detail. Ignorance to the wisdom. Any layer of the ignorance, any point of ignorance causes me the anxiety, duality, conflict, stress, anger, delusion. Can you remember that this week? Anytime you are anxious, it is because of ignorance. You sit down, you contemplate and reflect and remove the ignorance. And I promise you that your anxiety reaction will go away. Just by an intellectual exercise, contemplation and reflection, you find the cause and effect. So why we are reciting the mantra? Because we have to remember. We have to keep in our head. So whenever it is required, we can retrieve. So what happens? The result is mrityurma amritangamaya. Mrityurma amritangamaya. It means freedom. We are not seeking freedom for the mind. Freedom for the mind means I'm seeking freedom for my ego. Freedom for the ego means that my way is only way. My way is the right way. What it means? It means when you say that you are wrong, then I must admit that I'm wrong. Otherwise, I don't have any relationship with you. That is the problem in our relationship. We are seeking a freedom from the mind. So when you are seeking freedom from the mind, you transcend the mind. And now is the time we move to the next step. Not enough in the beginning. So look inside the forehead in the space. Look inside the forehead in the space. Keep looking into the space at any point and start breathing quick and short breath through both the nostrils into the chest, both the nostrils into the rib cage. Keep on doing it. Now, if you keep on doing it, it results into a variety of experiences, some tingling, some numbness, as if you feel you're losing control over the body. It is okay in the beginning. It's okay. Keep on doing it. But when there is any resistance against the breathing, you endure it. What is you mean by endure it? First, you think that I have to do it to change myself and keep on doing it. Continue breathing, but you are breathing in the state of steadiness in the body. The body is not moving except the rib cage. Rib cage expands and contracts. And stop this. You may have some experiences of sensation in the tingling inside and outside the head and also into the body. No need to move or change the body position at this moment. It's very important that you maintain your awareness and then start breathing deep, silent, and slow. As you inhale, first you inhale into the belly, check your belly expands, goes out, then continue breathing in. That makes the breathing deeper into the chest, breathing out from the belly, from the chest. So every inhalation expands your belly and the chest. Every exhalation squeezes the squeezes the belly and the chest. When you are experiencing the breathing in harmony, breathing is very easy, the deep, silent, and slow breathing. Now, on each inhalation, you drop Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti 3 times. Every exhalation, you drop 3 times Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. 3 times. The breathing still is deep, silent, and slow, as if the breathing is your car on which 3 people are sitting, including you. One Om Shanti, second Om Shanti, third Om Shanti. We are educating the mind to raise its level of awareness. At present, we are not contemplating too much on what is the Om Shanti. We simply know Om Shanti means that real self is peace. So if your mind says, I find it very difficult to drop 3 Om Shanti on one deep breath, that is a trigger coming from the impurity of the mind. And if I'm able to do it normally, without any disturbances, without any confusion, obviously we are on the journey. What is happening? The body is still, outer layer of the existence. The breath is deep, silent, and slow. And the mind is simply dropping Om Shanti. You see the thought in the mind, breathing, and the body. That is what we are educating the mind. Now you drop to Om Shanti on every inhalation and every exhalation, but your deep, silent, slow breathing remains the same. So what happens? Your Om Shanti has a liberty. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So as if you are almost in a singing mode mentally. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Two times during inhalation and two times during exhalation. Again, we are educating the mind, even if the outer situation changes, or come what may, whatever the outer situation and condition is, mind should remain calm and poised. And now, one Om Shanti, breath is still deep, silent, and slow. So your mind is singing Om Shanti. That Shanti ends in inhalation. And during exhalation, you start with Om Shanti. That also ends in exhalation. Can we do it? The mind may say, no, no, I find it difficult. Obviously, it triggers. Some past impression is triggers. Otherwise, it's not a difficult step. Om Shanti. We're asking the mind to check yourself whether you can live into that state without getting impacted by the inner trigger of the past impression, attitude. That is where we are going to change the attitude. That is going to help us deal. And now allow the breath to be normal and just drop on the normal breath, Om Shanti. Breath goes in Om Shanti, breath comes out Om Shanti. So result of the previous three steps is that syner- I'm able to bring the synergy between the breath going in, normal breath going in Om Shanti, normal breath coming out Om Shanti. Can I do it during the day also? You can check it. If you do not, if you can do it, it would be a wonderful thing. Anytime the mind triggers some emotions, first do it a couple of times and see the mind moves into the state of the calmness and then you are ready to think, speak, and act. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Bring your awareness on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. And we'll share our experiences. If you have any question, I'll take up that question. Good. How are you, Charlie?
Hello. Good. It was interesting. I felt my mind was quite active during that meditation, and what came up was fear, a lot of fear actually. And what if I can't do this?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So there is a trigger from the mind, what is already accumulated deep inside the mind. It triggered, and you experience that, oh, there is a fear. So it means, and because of the fear, then your mind says, no, let me not do it. So there is a resistance. So what should I do in face of the resistance? Tell your mind, no, I have to do it. I want to change.
Right. Right.
And then we will change. So it does not happen in one session. When you continue, keep on doing it, and one day you find, oh, I can bypass this resistance. And then the mind changes. A beautiful reflection. Wonderful. Charlie, how are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I think what you were just saying to Charlie was very interesting. I have to say, I think I dozed off a couple of times
Yeah.
during the practice, but I'm fully awake now.
Fully awake now. Yeah, dozed off is also another trigger mechanism of our subconscious mind. It says, okay, if you are not listening to me, I will put you into sleep. That is what happens. So, because meditation is quite an awakened state, not only it's a wakeful state, but it is an awakened state. So the mind tries all the means. So gradually, the best way is to do it, one day you fix the time and you repeat the practice maybe 5 times and you tell the mind, let me see, how can you sleep? So in a deeper state of relaxation, you lift your awareness and then there is no sleep. So that is another way to bypass the resistance. There are millions of impressions. They are stored in our mind. How are you, Mead?
I feel a kind of clarity, and I feel that my mind is not overtaking me.
Good, good.
Yeah.
I should have even that thought that the mind is not taking over me. Not only it's a good thought, and then I recognize how the mind is taking over me, dictating over me. So that is another way to bypass the resistance. Even by contemplation and thinking during the meditation can help us to move to the next step.
Mm.
But if you keep on thinking what happens, I'm already depressed, why my honey makes me depressed. Don't use the word, I'm using the honey for everything. Don't take it literally,
Yeah.
because I'm relating to someone. Look at this, I got a call from this friend. Now he will bore me or she will bore me. So now you already have this thought in your mind. And now what happens? You pick up the phone and you say, honey, darling, I have a good news for you. And now that thought dissolves. Oh, let me hear what's the good news. You see that? We anticipate, we have a false assumption about the world, about the people and the relationship, and that causes a lot of problems. And they keep on depositing in our mind. And ultimately, because they are already into my mind, so it means that I have to think, speak, and act in the same way. That is causing a lot of challenges in our life. So how are you, Anne?
Oops, here we go. I feel very good.
Good.
There were no thoughts that were bothering me.
Yes.
I'm quiet and calm.
Yes, yes. Do you see that in majority of our sessions for the last couple of months, every time Anne says, I feel quiet and calm and relaxed. It was not so couple of years back. I go into anxiety, what should I do? And it's still here. So, you are doing a repeat practice, you are regular, you understand it. It brings a tremendous result. So from the next week, because of the time change, so you have to adjust with me. So I'm just, instead of 7:30 your time, we are meeting at 7.
Mhm.
So your time 7 to 8, and my time will be 5 to 6. So I take over my private lessons at 6 exactly. That is all for today. I hope I hope John's honey is doing good. In Belgium, yeah. Just no, I should not say you would be calling her. But